This is Adam, and he suffers from gout. Try Urol. It helps to prevent crystallization of uric acid crystals in gout therapy. Urol, effective urinary alkalinizer for gout.
Hello, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has defended the prison board's hearing on Najib Abdul Razak's pardon application. He said it was in line with the process and said that anyone can apply for pardon in line with the process.
Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said the hearing given by the Pardons Board to ex-Premier Najib Abdul Razak's royal pardon application was in line with the given process. He stressed that there was no expediting of the appeal. In his speech at the Prime Minister's Department's monthly assembly today, Anwar also denied suggestions that a convict would need to serve at least 3 years of his sentence before his pardon application can be considered.
Siapa saja kali pertama ikut prosesnya boleh mengemukakan rayuan. Dan dalam kes ini, bila rayuan dikemukakan, benar. Perdana Menteri memastikan bahawa rayuan itu didengar. Jadi saya memang akui tanggungjawab itu.
Anwar said that he took it on himself to ensure that all applications received a given prompt attention. He added that the main consideration was not legal but the compassion of the former king Sultan Abdullah Sultan Ahmad Shah and that the decision was final. He said the process of justice and primary consideration are a matter of the former king's discretion and accept what has been provided in the federal constitution. He also urged against demanding explanations from the Pardons Board, which was chaired by the former Agong, as the final decision ultimately rests with him. On February 3rd, UMNO Supreme Council member Lokman Nur Adam said his party was grateful to Anwar for an earlier hearing on Najib's petition. Najib was originally sentenced to 12 years in prison by the Kuala Lumpur High Court over the 42 million ringgit SRC international corruption case. He was also fined 210 million ringgit. The Pardons Board commuted his sentence by half when it met on January 29th, while the fine was reduced to 50 million ringgit.
Meanwhile, an ex-MACC chief has called out Anwar for using the former king as a scapegoat and pointed out that Agong has to accept the prison board's decision as per the constitution.
Former MACC chief Latheefa Koya said the young di-Pertuan Agong shouldn't be blamed for the Pardons Board decision to reduce former Premier Najib Abdul Razak's sentence. In a post on X, Latheefa shared an article on Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's remarks on the matter and said that they shouldn't blame the king. She said His Majesty is bound by the advice of the Pardons Board. Latheefa cited Article 40(1)(a) of the Federal Constitution that the king shall accept the board's advice. She said when the Pardons Board gave the advice, he had to accept. She added that the advice clearly was to reduce the sentence and it was as simple as that, so they should stop spinning. Earlier this morning, Anwar said the hearing given by the Pardons Board to Najib's royal pardon application was in line with the given process and that there was no expediting of the appeal. He also denied suggestions that a convict would need to serve at least 3 years of his sentence before his pardon application can be considered. This follows UMNO Supreme Council member Lokman Nur Adam's statement thanking Anwar as well as UMNO President Ahmad for efforts to seek an early hearing of Najib's pardon petition filed in September 2022.
Tony Pua has given his statement regarding several posts on social media about Najib's partial pardon last Friday. The DAP leader told reporters he could not understand why he is being investigated under the Sedition Act.
Former Damansara MP Tony Pua said the police questioned him for more than an hour today over his remarks regarding Najib Abdul Razak's reduced jail sentence. He said the police questioned him on 5 Facebook posts with a total of 60 questions. Pua said after his statement was recorded, police officers will be accompanying him home to seize his laptop for investigation. He added that he provided the police with his Facebook account login details, including his password. Pua later told reporters that he's baffled why he's being investigated under the Sedition Act.
I cannot think of anything seditious in those postings. So we hope that the police, kita harap pihak polis akan membuat siasatan yang penuh dan pendek dan menolak segala tuduhan yang telah pun dibuat oleh pihak-pihak di luar sana. Kita mendapat tahu bahawa siasatan ini telah pun dibuat atas laporan yang telah diterima di Johor yang dibuat oleh pihak UMNO. Siapa saya tak tahulah, dia orang tak sebut, tapi oleh pihak UMNO di Johor.
Phua was accompanied by several DAP leaders, including National Chairperson Lim Guan Eng and Klang MP V Ganabatirao. When asked for his comments, Lim said he would convey his views through the party's internal channels. Last Friday, the Pardons Board commuted Najib's sentence by half to 6 years and reduced his fine to 50 million ringgit.
UMNO had a closed-door meeting yesterday to discuss Najib's reduced sentence. While they were hoping for a full pardon, its division chiefs were satisfied with the explanation given.
All UMNO division chiefs are satisfied with the explanation given to them as to why former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak was not granted a full pardon. This is according to UMNO Secretary General Ashraf Wajdi Dusuki. He said this after a closed-door briefing held for them by UMNO President Ahmad Hamidi at the party's headquarters yesterday. Speaking to reporters after the briefing, Ashraf said that the division leaders respect and uphold the Pardons Board decision. He added that the division leaders have also agreed to support the party's continued efforts to secure a full pardon for Najib. It is unclear what Zaid told the division chiefs during the briefing. However, UMNO Supreme Council member Ahmad Maslan had said that Zahid, who is also the Deputy Prime Minister, had done his best to try and get a full pardon for Najib, not all of which can be made public. On Friday, the Pardons Board had announced that Najib's prison sentence in the SRC international case would be halved from 12 years to 6, and his fine reduced from 210 million ringgit to 50 million ringgit.
Meanwhile, Najib's camp have allegedly challenged those who commented against him to a debate. However, Ram Karpal, who was one of those challenged, has dismissed the debate as a cheap publicity stunt by Najib and called it pointless.
Bukit Gelugur MP Ram Karpal Singh believes that there is no point in debating whether Najib Abdul Razak deserves a pardon. He said this is as even the Pardons Board maintained Najib's conviction while reducing the duration of his sentence. In a statement, he revealed that someone using Najib's Facebook account has challenged him to a debate and would reach out to him for a suitable date and venue for the debate. However, Ram Karpal said that no one from Najib's camp has contacted him and he assumes the said Facebook post was instructed by Najib. He added that any debate, whether with himself or anyone else, would not change the fact that Najib remains a convict and that his conviction is safe. Ram Karpal also reckons that this is a cheap publicity stunt of the former Prime Minister to remain relevant and said he would not allow himself to be used. He added that it was pitiful to see Najib, Malaysia's 6th Prime Minister, reduced to a state of desperation. Yesterday, Najib's representatives challenged the former Prime Minister's detractors to a televised debate over the SRC international case. They also suggested that should Ram Karpal decline, other critics such as Tony Phua and Muhammad Hanifah Maidin could take his place. Ram Karpal, Phua and Hanifah had all been critical of the Pardons Board's decision to halve the former Prime Minister's jail time from 12 to 6 years and reduce his fine from 210 million ringgit to 50 million ringgit. Najib's camp argued that a debate is now warranted since there is no longer any danger of sub judice or contempt of court when discussing the SRC international case.
Back to Anwar, the Prime Minister has rebuked criticism that his administration was not being firm in its fight against corruption. Anwar said the claims were not true and reiterated that there will be no compromise from the government on the matter.
Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has denied that the government was not firm in addressing corruption following the Pardons Board's reduction of former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak's prison sentence and fine. He said several people had raised the issue of them being lax on corruption issues and this is untrue. He was speaking during a gathering with staff of the Prime Minister's department in Putrajaya today. Anwar said he had been attacked for directing all agencies to be firm in saving the country from the misconduct of leaders by investigating and recovering extraordinary wealth. However, he said the government's stance against corruption is firm and comprehensive, and despite brickbats, this stance will not be withdrawn. Anwar also called on civil servants to fully cooperate in combating corruption to save the country from various abuses of power and misappropriation of wealth to restore the people's trust and the nation's revenue.
Saudara, kalau kita dapat selamatkan 10-20 bilion ini, bukan untuk perbaiki rumah Perdana Menteri atau allowance dia. Apa yang kita dapat pulangan itu, kita kembalikan kepada rakyat. Noktahkan kemiskinan, beri pendidikan yang bermutu, selamatkan anak-anak dari semua kaum, agama, wilayah. Jadi tidak lagi kita bergaduh soal peruntukan-peruntukan kecil.
Anwar added that the government's determination can be seen through the decisive actions taken by enforcement agencies, including the MACC and the Inland Revenue Board, in the fight against corruption and misappropriation.
Police have confirmed reports of an alleged abduction of former Sarawak Governor Taib Mahmud. Taib had reportedly been brought out of hospital.
Former Sarawak Governor Abdul Mahmud has allegedly been abducted from a hospital by a family member. Police today confirmed that reports had been filed regarding Taib being brought out of the hospital. According to a police report lodged on Sunday cited by Malaysia Kini, Taib was reportedly being treated at the Norma Medical Specialist Centre's intensive care unit in Kuching. Sarawak Police Commissioner Manca Atta said in a statement that the reports are being investigated under Section 336 of the Penal Code for rash or negligent acts that endanger human life or the personal safety of others. The report lodged by a doctor alleged that late Saturday night, a close family member had removed all medications attached to Taib without alerting hospital staff. He was then put in a wheelchair and brought out of the hospital. A second police report by another family member of Taib's was reportedly lodged on Sunday based on the first report. According to the second police report, none of Taib's siblings or 4 children were made aware of his current whereabouts and health condition. Taib served as Sarawak's 4th Chief Minister from 1981 to 2014, before being appointed as Sarawak's 7th Governor in 2014. He was supposed to remain in office until the end of this month. However, his term as governor was cut short with the appointment of former Senate President Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar last month.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.